Welcome to Haldane County Extension Today, the show that we talk all things Haldane County Extension Office. I'm your host, Jarrett Cox, and we have a fantastic show for you today. We're going to talk about 4-H. We're going to talk about camp, summer camp, this camp that you need to go to, and we'll tell you all about it right here today. And we have a very special guest to talk about that. We have Jocelyn Kemp, one of the newest agents at the 4-H Extension Office. Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here. So, if a kid wants to get involved in 4-H, either starting out as a club about or starting out in that kind of middle school range, what do they need to do?
They need to talk to us at the office, and we can talk to them about what their interests are, and we can point them in the right direction of a club that may be best for them and meet their interests, and we can go from there.
So a lot of people that may not know about 4-H, they may think of just farming, and I know we've got all these lovely props around here. But, you know, just looking at the board, you know, archery, slingshot, there's so much in 4-H that doesn't involve just farming.
Yes, absolutely. So it is common for people to associate 4-H with agriculture, and that's because that's the history of it, and that's really where it started from, the history of 4-H, and not only that, but extension as well. So that is associated with 4-H, but as we're moving forward, we really branch out and meet a lot of different needs. So we have cooking clubs, gardening clubs, sewing clubs. We have lots of clubs to learn about animals like dogs, horses, livestock. There are a ton of different options other than agriculture. And even if you want to learn about agriculture, of course, we have those opportunities as well.
Yeah, I think it's just important for people to know because they may not know a lot about agriculture, but they may really be interested in some of the other things that you do. And, you know, it's a great way for them to go in and learn about that kind of thing.
Yes, it'll be great.
So, I know we're here today to talk about summer camp, and we talked about that last year, and there's a new theme every year. So tell me a little bit about the theme this year.
Okay, so the theme this year is called Time Warp, so that might be a little bit confusing for our kiddos, but I'll explain it. So Time Warp is kind of like going back in time and experiencing different decades is kind of what we're focusing on. So I know that we'll have a little bit of themes at camp, which will be pretty cool. So we'll learn about the 90s, the early 2000s, 2010, all the way up to today's time. So a lot of people associate those different decades with like different fashions. So that'll be a big main point to represent the Time Warp theme.
Or, you know, you've seen the name Time Warp, you think of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
There are 3 people that know me that are probably shocked that I mentioned that on TV. So, you got your theme, the Time Warp. What are kind of the activities that students will be able to participate in?
Well, there are a lot of different activities they can participate in. We have a few written on the board here, but there are things like canoeing, fishing, swimming, there's outdoor cooking. I know every night there's called a Sally Dance, so there is dancing that everyone has a blast at. There's also opportunities to play recreational games, so I know there is a Gaga Ball pit there. I have never played Gaga Ball, but I hear it is so popular and it's all the rage. Yes, exactly. So the kids love Gaga Ball, so that is there for them as well. Along with that, there's different activities such as decorating your cabin, so there'll be contests for that. So you can do things with your cabin as well together. Then you have meal times together. So it's just a great time to spend time with your friends and make new friends as well.
And that in camp and those kind of things, I've always found it, no matter what level you're on, whether you're in elementary school or you're in a collegiate level, getting involved in clubs and activities is such a great way to expand your horizons and meet new people.
Yes.
And it sounds like this is a great time to meet people. So if somebody here has heard this so far, I'm in. I want to go to 4-H camp.
Yeah.
Can they sign up now?
They can sign up now. We do have a few deadlines to keep an eye out for, but we still have spots, and we anticipate filling those up by maybe the end of April. So do not wait to sign up. Don't wait till that deadline because we don't want you to miss out.
So now keep in mind that she said the end of April. If you don't sign up by the end of April, you may miss out. So where do they go?
So to sign up, they're going to have to fill out an enrollment form. They will go to our office, and they can do that there. The enrollment form does not guarantee your spot as a camper. However, if you turn your enrollment form in with your deposit, that will hold your spot.
So deposit.
Yes.
That's catch. Very sneaky. So very sneaky. You sneaking that in before I could ask about it. So what's the cost?
So the cost this year is actually $175 per camper, and that has gone down tremendously because we have received help from our district board, so we're very fortunate for that. And if an adult attends as a chaperone, their child can go for free as well. And the different ways you can pay for camp are by cash, credit or debit card, or checks.
And they can make those out to me, right?
Maybe not. That won't hold their spot.
So, and that is a discount from last year.
Yes.
And, it's so great that your community partners and the 4-H board has allowed that to happen. The kids get to experience that it may have been out of their price range before.
Yes. So we are very fortunate to receive that help and for people in our community to recognize the importance of this camp. We also do offer scholarships as well, and that, like you said, it's members of our community contributing to our kids and offering scholarship to kids who may not be able to afford it otherwise.
And I know that 4-H has such a profound impact on the community. If somebody wants to donate to make this happen for a young kid, what do they need to do? Do they contact you at the extension office?
Yes, they can contact the extension office, absolutely.
Okay, so when is the camp?
So our camp is this summer. It's in July, and it's the 17th through the 21st. So it's 5 days away from mom and dad, and it's 4 nights there. So unless their parents are chaperones. Unless their parents are chaperones, so that's up to them. But we meet up Monday morning at the extension office, and we all leave together on buses, and we arrive at camp, and that's where all the fun begins. Then we stay there for the 4 nights, and Friday morning we pack up our stuff and we head back to the office where they're picked up by their families.
So we've talked a bit about the camp, what it involves, and where it is, and we haven't talked about where it is. So where is it?
So camp is called, it has a name. It's called West Kentucky 4-H Camp, and it's located in Dawson Springs, Kentucky. So I believe, off the top of my head, I believe that's about an hour and a half from our office. And it's in the central time zone.
The time zone I live in. Now, I don't live near Dawson Springs, but I do live on Central Time. It makes my commute here every morning very interesting.
Yes.
I feel like I'm in a time warp because whatever time I leave here is the time I get home.
Yeah, so that might play into our theme.
So, we talked about the camp. We've talked about kind of what goes on at the camp. What do you think is the biggest thing that a student will gain by going to this camp?
I think they'll gain self-confidence because they take the time to meet new friends and meet new people and introduce themselves, and also play games with each other and have fellowship where they dance and share meals together and things like that. And that can really help bring kids out of their shell to meet new people and gain confidence in themselves.
And that's something that you really want to do at an early age. Don't be like me. Don't wait till college to do that stuff. Get a grasp on that now.
Yeah, it's important. And I hear countless stories of how a 4-H camp has positively affected somebody's life moving forward all the way up into adulthood. So it's very special.
And that's one reason I always encourage kids to get involved in activities, get involved in stuff. Like when I was at the college, I'd tell people, anything that's going on, just go to it.
Yeah, try it out.
Yeah, you may not be interested in it now, but you might love it.
Yeah.
You never know who you might meet.
You might make lifelong friends.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that, why you should go to 4-H camp, why you should go to Dawson Springs and spend that time making new friends, having new experiences, trying things you've never tried before.
Yes. And that is another thing with the activities that we offer. If you don't want to do the activities that are being offered, if it maybe scares you or anything like that, you are not going to be forced to do those things. It's all on your terms, so you're comfortable and you have fun and a great experience.
I saw you bring a fishing pole out here earlier. I'm glad it's not on the set. I'd find some way to get it stuck in my finger.
Yeah.
I don't fish anymore.
Yeah.
See somebody over there might be grabbing it. I might need to rear back.
You can go fishing.
you know, you can go fishing, you can do archery. I hope there's not a bow in
Yeah,
here.
we didn't bring that. But yeah, like for example, with archery or fishing, maybe you haven't experienced that or you haven't been taught that or spent the time learning about those things. You can do that at camp. You can go fishing for the first time or you can shoot a bow and arrow for the first time. So that's exciting too.
What are the other things that you might be able to experience at camp?
Well, you can go swimming. We do have a swimming pool there, but we also have a lake. And we can go canoeing. So that's a lot of fun.
So what is it that you think you're most excited to do at camp?
That I'm most excited to do at camp? I think I'm most excited for the evening activities, for the Sally dances, and for seeing how the kids have so much fun. I think that's what I'm excited for.
And it's all about the kids and all about
Yes.
making sure that they have a blast.
Yes. Yeah, we're so excited. So sometimes it's not every year, but we can try and plan for it. We do like have like a foam slip and slide type of thing. So that's a lot of fun because it's summertime, so it is going to be hot. So we're going to have things to do in the water, so to keep cool, and that's one of those things.
And I assume there'll be opportunities to play sports.
Yeah. So here is like a 4-H ball. So it has different questions about 4-H that you can answer. So you can use this as like maybe an icebreaker, maybe to learn more about 4-H, or quiz how much you already know, and things like that.
So I will throw that to you, and
Okay.
you answer the question that you see on there.
So you're supposed to answer the question that has your right thumb. It says, I gave a 4-H presentation on 4-H camp.
You're getting to do that right now.
Yep. Do you want to try to answer one?
Sure.
Okay.
You can tell that I'm terrible at the sports. 4-H events attended. I've attended quite a few of the banquets that they've had in Hart County. I've actually,
Okay.
one of the things that I got to do, and I was very privileged to do, is I would make the highlight reel that they would show all the activities that the kids did that year. So
Yeah.
that was something that I'd done for several years running. I'd set it up and I'd present it, and they were very grateful. It was something that I was really excited to do.
Yeah.
And you know, just seeing the looks on the kids' faces and the parents' faces, and you know, they say, "Oh, that's me, that's
Yeah.
me."
Yeah, that is exciting to take a look back at the year. Maybe you forgot some of the things in those pictures. Help to remember that and bring back that excitement.
And that to me is like one of my favorite things about doing that is I got to see all the stuff that 4-H did. You know, it kind of really expanded my horizons of knowing what all 4-H entailed. So I'm terrible at the sports. So, you know, we've talked a lot about the fun that somebody can have at 4-H camp and in 4-H in general. Well, what are some of the ways that 4-H helps people become better leaders, better citizens?
There are so many different ways that 4-H does that for our youth. So, for example, they can give speeches and demonstrations, so that teaches public speaking skills and be able to talk in front of people and present things. We also have our clubs participate in community service events. So, for example, our livestock club is getting ready to go to Feeding America for, I believe, the 3rd time. So there's a bunch of different community service opportunities that they do as well. So that teaches you to give back to what's important.
In doing those kind of things, it is so important. I did do public speaking. I never thought I'd need it. Now I'm hosting a TV show. So, you know, you never
Yeah.
know where you're going in life, that these skills, or the people that you meet at these kind of, like going
Yes.
to Feeding America, you never know who you, like one of the board members for Feeding America is on the Elizabethtown City Council, Julia Springsteen.
Okay.
You know, you make those connections.
Yes.
You never know, you know, whether you might need a reference later in life, or you make a connection,
Yes.
you might help you advance somewhere.
Yes, you're exactly right. Making those connections and networking with people and just building yourself up to be a well-rounded adult and to be successful in whatever you choose to do, and also to give back. So maybe you age out of 4-H and maybe you come back and participate as an adult leader. So it's really special to have somebody do that as well.
Well, they might work in an extension office one
Yes.
day. Like how many
Yeah.
how many people at the 4-H extension office that work there now were 4-H kids?
I don't know an exact number, but I know it is
probably
common.
most of them.
Yeah, it's common. Oh, we have 8. So we refer to those as 4-H alumni. And actually, we just visited Frankfort, Kentucky during the legislative session, and we heard from the governor and a bunch of different important people in politics up there, and a majority of them were 4-H alumni as well.
And, you know, talking about building those connections. Because, you know, one of the things that I always say is the most important person in your government is your local government, your city council. And being there to tell them about how important 4-H is. And, you know, maybe getting into government and advancing 4-H, helping 4-H, and helping, you know, the next generation of leaders.
Yes. Yeah, that's really important. So it was nice to see during that Capitol experience that they were talking about how 4-H benefited them. And it's important to show the kids that absolutely that is an obtainable goal for me, and I can be a strong leader.
And that there is no glass ceiling that you cannot break.
Exactly. Yes.
So we talked a little bit about it, and I wanted to kind of circle back to, now that we're talking about the legislative session, that kind of stuff. What activities are there outside of agriculture for somebody either in 4-H now or an alumni of 4-H that wants to get back involved?
Well, we have a long list of different activities. For example, spring break is coming up for the kids. So we are planning an activity for each day of spring break. So it'll be a series of 5 different activities for them to participate in. So it gives them something to do for spring break as well as learning something new. And we also made it to where a lot of our sessions during spring break are going to relate back to county fair. So maybe they might want to enter whatever they make into as an exhibit. Things like that. And okay, so also there are different activities to do in terms of giving speeches, speeches and demonstrations. There's a lot of teen events like Teen Summit or Teen Conference, which is this summer. So those are excellent leadership building activities. And then as far as alumni go, they can always participate as a volunteer leader. They can, if they have a specific interest in something, they can focus in on that club and be a leader to one specific club, either one that's existing, or maybe they have something that they're interested in that we do not currently offer, maybe woodworking, maybe art, things like that. We are always looking for adult leaders and 4-H alumni to be a part of that.
I know the last time that I was at the Extension office, it was during one of the sewing club meets that you all had.
Yeah, so that's the sewing club, and we have fabulous leaders for that, so that's one of their passions is sewing. So they're able to reflect that passion into the students that are learning about sewing. So they're able to help them and to be better sewers, and as they grow, they learn how to improve that craft.
It's important, and it's important, especially leading these groups, to be passionate about it, because that, you know, if you're passionate about something, that shows, that radiates through you, and people can tell it, and it's just infectious.
Yeah, it's special. So it helps the kids to see that, yeah, this is fun, and this is important, and this is a special thing to be learning.
Just like how fun 4-H camp will be.
Yes, we are very excited.
So again, in Dawson Springs, West Kentucky 4-H camp, when do they need to enroll by? They
need to enroll by, I don't remember the date, May 15th.
But you don't want to wait till May 15th.
You don't want to wait till May 15th. We see the spots filling up very quickly. We just discussed numbers yesterday, so we don't want you to wait until May 15th to sign up and get us your deposit, because there might not be a spot left.
And that deposit has gone down. If it may not have been affordable to you before, it is now.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like I said, we have those different opportunities for you we hope to maybe talk about it next year with getting the price brought down even more. That's just something that we'll have to discuss next year.
And scholarships, of course, are an option.
Scholarships are an option. I believe the deadline is about to pass, so it might not be an option soon. So that's important to look into that now as well.
So if they're interested in a scholarship, they need to call the 4-H Extension office immediately.
Yes.
At what number?
It is 270-765-4121.
And that's right there on this nice little...
I could have read it to you from there.
That's fine. It's live. So July 17th to July 21st, 4-H camp, 5 days of fun in Dawson Springs on Central Time. It's very important to know.
Yeah.
It's on slow time, as
slow
we call
time,
it.
yeah.
Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. And before we go on this episode of Holden County Extension today, we have a current 4-H member. If we have not sold you enough on how much you need to go to 4-H camp, Addie Mae Williams is going to tell you a little bit about her experience at 4-H camp.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about 4-H camp. 4-H camp is one of the most funnest camps I've ever been to, and technically it's the only one I have been to because it's so awesome. So I'm going to be talking about what you get to do there, how much it costs, and what the fun things are. So, the fun things are, I'll just say that for the end because I don't want to get your hopes up. So, the rules that you have to follow at camp is pretty simple. You go to bed about like 9, which sometimes you get the cabin leaders that break the rules, but that's okay. Then you get to get up around, depends on if you want to do the polar bear swim, which that is early in the morning and it's kind of cold, but it's all fun. And sometimes the pool is heated, but it depends on what the mood is. So, then you get to go get breakfast, so that's around 8-ish. And then you get to go to your first activity, and which the activities are swimming, archery, fishing, rifling, canoeing, ziplining, roping. Then there is much more that you can do, but I always do the archery, the rifling, the swimming for sure when it's really hot. And then sometimes the ziplining. So usually you get to choose about 3. So I usually do my first one, which is my favorite one, so that's archery. Then I do rifling, then I do swimming. So then there's always some cool stuff that the staff does with us when we get there and when we leave, and sometimes in the middle. So they do this like stage thing in the beginning. They act and they're like, "Ooh, we gotta wear sunscreen. Ooh, we gotta drink a lot of water." So they kind of do that thing at the very beginning to show us the rules and what we need to do. And then at the end, they always sing the song "Linger." It is kind of emotional at the end because you get to say goodbye to the counselors and your cabin, and you get to meet new friends, and you probably will make long-term friends, and that's kind of how camp is trying to work. So you can make friends and you can have them for a very long time. Then there's a thing called a water war, which you get to go against the boys' cabins and the girl cabins and the counselors. So they get to throw wet sponges at the counselors, at each other, get to go down this big, huge water slide. And then there's also the Nerf war. Now that's with the water. So you actually get to take turns with it. So it'd be like, Cabin 50A, Cabin 57, please come to the water guns. Then we get to do it. So then there is always snacks and drinks at this thing called Sally Down the Alley. And you get to be with your friends, hang out. Sometimes you meet some boys. Just joking. Anyways, so you get to hang out with your friends, and there's always some blue punch and lemonade, and sometimes Rice Krispie treats or popcorn. So usually they give you that for a snack, and then after that, so it's about an hour or 2, and then after that, you get a shower, or they try to get you a shower before because the water runs cold. But it's all good. It heats up. So then you get to do that, and you kind of go to bed. And I always try to pack extra clothes because I like to wear 2 sets of clothes a day because I get really hot in the first day. And then I go switch into the clothes that smell like BO, which I do wear deodorant, but it doesn't really work. So then, after you do that, then you get to go to bed, start your entire day over, and you get to do other activities. And then, before you get there, I almost forgot. You get a free t-shirt. And then at the end, they wrote, your friends could write your name on the back of your shirt. So, you probably didn't see that very well, but my friends wrote their name on the back of their shirt, and it said, "Love and peace, hope to see you again." So, then, if I was you, I would also bring hiking shoes, like tennis shoes, shorts, and sometimes maybe leggings if it gets cool. But they try to schedule it around where it doesn't rain, but, it's West Kentucky. So then I would bring a hat if you get sunburned very easily, a lot of sunscreen, and a lot of liquids. If last year people didn't like to drink the water because it was it was really refreshing, but it was people that they're tap people. Okay, see, I'm a well girl, so they had little plastic cups. If you don't want to drink out of those, then like Save the Turtles, woo-hoo, you could just bring your own cup. So, and then you get to, savor that, and you get to use it over and over again. Then there's this thing called Gaga Ball and basketball. Gaga Ball, if you don't know what that is, trust me, when you get there, you'll figure it out. Because it's pretty simple. And it's very, very, very fun. I promise you, because I've played it. I was getting so aggressive with the people. I almost hurt somebody, but that's okay. We ain't gonna get to those. So, they try to get the age limits right. So, like, let's see, 15 through 17, they try to get them in a pen because, they're bigger, they're hardier. Then they try to get, like, the 9 to, like, 12-ish in the pen. So, like, they're little still, and they're still growing, and they, a little slow. No offense, but we will help them. And so this year, I'm going to be a teen counselor, so I'm actually 15. And so those teen counselors, they have a key where they can help kids get in the room if they needed to. But we try to get all of our stuff so we don't have to come back and forth because you might miss a class. Then there is adult teen counselor that is a grown adult. And they can, take a kid to, the Nurse Bob, he's the best. And then there's just the little campers. So the little campers they kind of just follow the teen leaders and the adult leaders through what they need to do and where they need to go. And if they need help, you can always ask anybody and they will show you. Because they are very respectful and kind, and they will help you with about anything. So that is what camp is about. And I think that if you go, you will want to keep on going, because I have for the past 6 years, and I've always wanted to come back, and I've always came back, and every year they try to do something new, and they have. So I think I'm pretty proud of them for doing that. So I think that's it. Have a nice day.